Ooh, that was a long one. Alrighty. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Thanks for tuning into Empowered Live
Happy
with
Wednesday.
Angie and myself. Almost said Thursday.
Oh, that's tomorrow,
That's
right?
that's tomorrow,
Oh gosh.
allegedly.
Yeah, right. Allegedly.
Let's see. And this week we're going to be talking about karma, the law of attraction, and energy frequency and vibration. Lot to unpack.
Well, they all go together, right?
They all do go together. I mean, I think saying that everything we talk about usually goes together, right?
Yeah, true, right?
It's all stuff
Well,
we talk about.
yep, and that's one big package of things you can't see that are, I don't know. I mean, karma, right? Nebulous for sure. It, depending on who you ask, right? What is karma? What is karma? Karma's that. Can we say that word, bitch? Yeah, why not? It's our live stream. Anyway,
Huh.
karma's that one that's going to get back at that person that did me wrong. Is that all there is to it?
No, I was thinking about this today. I don't really think, you know, personifying karma that it has malintent or ill will. I just don't think that. I just don't think that's how it works.
No, I
Although,
don't think so
you know,
either.
I'm always. I think everyone's guilty of like, oh, karma's a bitch. Just wait. I don't know if there's anyone who's never said that who had a small frame of or idea of what karma was. I think we've all said that.
Oh, for
So
sure. I mean, before I really started studying energy and getting an
mm-hmm.
idea of, what it was and how it works, that's absolutely what I thought. Um, those over the years, I've run across my share of the draconian people who would like to take advantage of, every ounce that you'll give them. And I remember saying, just going to sit back and watch this guy get his because it's going to happen, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
karma is a. And the truth is, that's really more about the law of attraction, right? Or is it the same thing? Because I think karma is just a mechanism. It's an energetic mechanism, right? Like kind of like that um, physics concept that every action has an equal and opposite reaction.
Mm-hmm.
So I think karma is a mechanism for reaction.
Totally.
It's the universe reacting to. So the idea that somebody makes you angry and then you go around wishing them ill and using karma as a scapegoat, it's probably not a really good plan.
Probably not. Probably not the best plan. Uh, it's not the worst plan that we use, but not we, but people, humans. But
Right.
definitely not the best.
Can it blow up in your face, do you think?
100%. I mean,
You put it out, right?
right? I mean, you're putting it out there, and also kind of like as a, you're almost giving up your power to karma or to the
Yeah,
idea
right?
of karma, the idea of karma,
Karma.
karma, caramels.
So what if, I mean, because really, if you think about it, if you take the words away, right? Take the word karma away, take all the words away, and you think of it really in terms of energy or frequency, which I had not really meant to visit too much in this conversation because it's kind of really out there. But
Mm-hmm.
if you take the words away and you think of energy, right? You send energy out, and that's the energy that pulls back to you. Like attracts like, right? Like attracts like. So if you're sending out that negative intent, are you pulling it back to yourself in some way? It's so funny because some people teach law of attraction like it's some kind of magic. Poof. You know how I do not like poof.
Where's my $1 million?
Right? I mean, um, but I think that no matter what, I guess if you really boil it down, karma is always attached to an action.
Totally. Has to be.
Whatever the action is, it's always attached to the action, right? So do you buy your when you wish karma on, I mean, everybody is upset right now, everybody's up in arms right now, everybody is, you know out of sorts, or well, not everybody, because a lot of people are finding some real focus in this shutdown, and real progress and shifting.
Mm-hmm.
So that is also happening. And so is that an example of karma? What they're not sitting back whining how terrible 2020 is, and how miserable they are, and which is not to say that people aren't miserable, and not to say that people who have really fallen on hard circumstances because of this shouldn't feel upset. But I think that the more that you dwell on that, the more you attract that to yourself.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, the people that are making not making the best things, like, try to do that, but they're building their karma, right? They're adding karma. They're adding karma to their soul's pot of karma.
Right. And I think, do you think that it's a ladybug walking on my wall. Ooh, let me go Google ladybug. Anyway. Anyway.
We did that one already, right?
Yeah, that could very well be. Anyway, it's darn it. I got distracted by the ladybug. Now I don't remember where I was going with that. It was a good one too. It'll come back.
Maybe it was a sign, because ladybugs are red, that we need to ground.
Oh, that could very well be.
Could be.
Or that I need glasses, because now I don't think it looks like a ladybug. Anyway, oh, I know what I was going to say. That if you are, if you're sort of dwelling in and I'm not saying, I'm not talking about like real grief or real struggle. We all struggle when we're doing shadow work. We can be, that's hard work. I'm not saying that everybody should prance around, like Snow White singing a happy tune. That's not at all what I mean. But I mean, if you move through life with some semblance of positivity, are you more likely to recognize the opportunity that could actually pull you out of that sort of lower situation that is causing you dissonance in your life? Could it just get by you, right? It could just get by you.
I think.
Interesting.
What was I just going to say? Hold on, I'm battling my headache right now, which is probably karma for something I did earlier, right? That's why I have a headache now.
Yeah, I have actually a headache myself, so that's a little interesting. I think there's some pollen or mold or something in the air that's giving us some trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting. The first day I've had my windows open in quite a while. But now I've got a headache, right?
That's
karma.
Oh
my gosh.
It's the law of attract. You attracted that pollen and that mold in by opening your window.
Right. So for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, right?
Right. Exactly.
I don't know. I mean, that is a law of physics. In energy, is it an equal and opposite reaction, or is it just simply a reaction? There is always a reaction. I mean, and if you like, it's like manifesting. I posted in the group today a little bit about manifesting, the idea of manifesting. And a lot of people are looking at manifesting like it's really some kind of, I hate to use the word again, nebulous, but process, or
Mm-hmm.
magic, or whatever. And really, the idea is figure out what you want, and then find out or figure out how to adjust your vibration, your physical circumstances to match that through actions, right? Like, you can manifest $1 million, absolutely you can. But if you think you're going to do that without getting up and going to work, or inventing some, patenting some just amazing contraption,
Mm-hmm.
it's not going to happen.
Right.
If you can't say I want to manifest $1 million and then go sit in your chair, there's no action to bring it to you.
That's right.
So I don't know. I feel bad. I'm seeing a lot of I'm seeing a lot of people who are struggling, like those drama situations. Naturally, you see that stuff on Facebook, and I'm seeing quite a few people that are struggling with that kind of thing. And karma is the first thing they bring up. You know, well, you know who you are, and karma's gonna get you. And I'm thinking to myself, wow.
See, I think that, I remember what I was going to say now. Thank you. Is that I think that there is a misconception of what karma is. Like the people that say that, and I used to have the same thought as that. I thought karma was like the the Judge Dredd of the physical world. It
Right?
was the judge, jury, and executioner, and it was the deciding factor on who. It was the balance that held together the fabric of the universe. And if someone wronged somebody else, they were in turn going to be wronged somewhere down the road. But that's not what it is, right? I mean, and if you look at it for what it is in the Buddhist and the Hindu texts or books or teachings, it's like the sum of all of your actions throughout your existence, not depending on what you believe or how you do it, but all of your existences existenti. um,
In all of your travels. Yep.
and all of them, and that is what propels you into the next one, or how your next thing's going to work out. It's not that it is the judge, jury, and executioner of people's actions. If someone wrongs you, you are. It's like, oh, it's okay. Karma's got my back. They're gonna go get hit by a bus now because they said something mean to me. Like that's not how it. That's not how it works.
No, right? And as you were talking, it hit me that I don't like something you said to me, which is not true. You're one of the few. Um, but whatever, that, erase all of that. So
Sure.
you say something to me that I don't like, that hurts my feelings, whatever it is. I think to myself, oh, you shouldn't have done that. Karma's going to get you.
Mm-hmm.
That is my perception, right? That there was something negative about what you said, when in fact, you might have looked at me and told me the truth, and I just didn't like it. So there is no negative karma floating around for you for that one at all.
Right.
That's
That's a good.
my
That's a good point.
perception,
Right.
right? Like, so that's kind of interesting when you think about it. People wish. So we've talked about the concept of attachment mechanisms, like you have to accept the idea, you have to accept the energy that creates an imprint for you. So I wonder if there is an like, could I get, where am I trying to go with this? I say something that hurts your feelings, okay? And of course I would never mean to do that, but let's say I say something that hurts your feelings,
Mm-hmm.
and rather than just saying I'm sorry or I didn't mean to do that, through guilt I accept the negative karma that's attached to that. Is that possible? Is that some kind of a belief or limiting thing that's going on in your head? Is it that intelligent karma, or is it really just a give and take? I mean, if it's
Both.
perception one way, right?
Both, I would say. I don't know if. I kind of think karma is one of those things that operates outside of human ideas and frame of reference. So
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
that we
that's.
potentially put that spin on there to make it easier for us to understand.
Oh yeah, right. And then so and you know that I'm good for this. I am good at this one. Is thinking that I've said, thinking I've said something that hurt somebody's feelings. I remember because I can remember you even saying it to me. When I'll say, "Wow, I hope that wasn't too much for so and so," and you'll look at me and go, "What are you talking about?" Like,
Yeah.
so that game is playing in my head. So I don't, I think that's not karma at all, right? Like that's an internal thing.
Or
So
that's just your mind playing tricks on you, right?
yeah, right.
You know,
So
pulling off of past history and things where you may have gotten hurt in return, so it was trying to keep you safe by, and maybe that message just didn't get through to you fast enough to where, the mouth was moving faster than the brain was working.
oh well.
Maybe it was just a little late to the party of like, oh, you shouldn't have said that. It's too late.
Right? Yeah. So that, yeah. Wow. So that's a demonstration that we need to separate our idea of karma from what's going on in our minds.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought of another one because you know how you said all of your travels or all of your existence, how do you, whatever that is, um is that if karma is a bucket, like let's put it into some sort of structure that we can wrap our minds around. If
Right.
karma is a bucket and you're filling the bucket up with negative karma that's going to get dumped on your head eventually. If I wish negative karma on you for something you did, there's a chance that that was the first thing that went in your bucket. And so I might not even, that might not even hit you until your next life. I might not even be around to see it, right?
I almost think that it would have the reverse effect. That would be negative karma in your bucket. The
Right? Oh
person
yeah, wishing it on you, right?
thinking that karma was going to do ill
That
will
is
to this
true.
person, you just created negative karma for yourself.
That is, you know what? I mean, that's really the bottom line of it, isn't it? That
Right. And we just
it's
tried
all
to,
you.
protect our human mind of thinking that, oh, we're not wishing, we're not actually wishing that person ill will. Karma's going to get them. We're going to put this one on
Yeah,
karma.
right. Isn't
But
that that
you just put negative karma in your bucket because you were still whatever mind games you want to play, you're still wishing ill will onto that other person.
that's it. That's really it. Okay, that's it. Show's over, folks. Have a great
All right, well, good. Now we can move on to law of attraction and why
I mean, that's
wishing.
really it, right? Like that's it. So okay, so law of attraction, which is an interesting topic in and of itself, but is law of attraction karma? What you put out there,
That's what you get in
you
return.
receive in return, right? I mean, is it all tied together?
I think it's the concept is possibly the same. I think maybe the origin story behind the two ideas is different. Let's
Oh, no doubt.
I
No
feel like
doubt.
law of attraction is a Western.
Right. Right, right, right. Oh, there's so much out there on the law of attraction too, right? You can go on Udemy for $9.99 and become a law of attraction coach. Just saying.
Sounds like that's a quick way to turn my $99 into $1 million.
right?
I gotta go
Now,
stretch my
and
legs.
here's something that's interesting since, we both sort of moved over to Google for a second just to sort of feed the conversation about law of attraction. I know I have an idea of what I understand, but here's what's really interesting to me. So, uh, you come up with the list on the page. The first thing says, what are the 7 laws of attraction? And then the next one says, what are the 3 laws of attraction? Of course, you can go on YouTube and find out how to really, how it really works and how to use it. I mean, it's so. Oh, I like this though. 3 laws of attraction. Start with the present is always perfect.
That's a good one.
I like that one. I like that a lot. Start with the present is always perfect. So, like attracts like,
Nature
nature
abhors
abhors a
a vacuum.
vacuum, and the present is always perfect.
I mean, they get my vote for using the word abhors,
I know, right?
but they should have said nature arbors a vacuum because trees and arbor. That would have won more points for me for being witty, but no one else would have gotten that joke from me.
Probably. I mean,
It's
it's
not a good way to
interesting
sell an
because
idea.
it's right. You think about like the law of attraction. Over the years, I've seen it demonstrated in different ways. One of the ones I really remember was Oprah in the Gratitude Journal. Write 3 things every day that you're grateful for, and it'll change your life. I remember that. It'll change your life. So I did it. I was like, okay. By day 7 or 8, I couldn't even think of 3 things I was grateful for. I mean, it was just unbelievable. And so I'm like, well, I don't know what can change. So what I believed by what she said was that there was magic in writing these 3 things down, right? That
Mm.
there was some magic to that. When in fact, now that we've studied energy in the way that we have, and I understand more about the law of attraction, which I think is one of those things that nobody knows everything about, the idea that you find 3 things that you're grateful for, 3 things every day, 1 thing every day, 5 things, whatever number you want to attach to it, and connect to the energy of the gratitude that you have for that. It's not about, I'm grateful that I woke up, I'm grateful that I'm breathing, and I'm grateful I have a roof over my head. It's, I'm grateful every day for the breath that gives me life, or I'm grateful every day for the shelter that I have within which I can do my work. Or
Mm-hmm.
you know where
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with that. It's connecting to the energy of it, connecting to the energy of gratitude. So, oh, this is kind of what we do actually, if you think about it. You and I, being energy masters as we are, and
Yes,
maybe
we
we
are.
throw that in every now and then. We actually, I'm going to use the word play because that's how you master, you play. But we actually play with the frequencies of gratitude, of attraction, like those actual frequencies. We are connecting to we put in the middle of the room what it is that we're trying to create and connect to the energy of that. That is a very simplistic description of the work that you and I do together.
It is,
But
and those are some pretty wild, crazy sessions too.
and deliver some pretty quick results when
Mm-hmm.
we I think one of the things that people don't understand about the law of attraction too is the idea of consistency, right? Like you can't just say I want $1 million and then wait around for the million
Mm-hmm.
dollars. It's refreshing that energy, paying attention to that energy, figuring out what actions are going to bring those things toward you. But yes, some really wild. Oh, we can do a shameless plug here because we
Oh wait,
actually
hold on. I gotta
have.
go full screened. Hold on. Hold on, it's not letting me back up. There we go. Go for it. We're ready.
Starting Friday, we have MPowered Fridays. It's a 6-week journey into connecting with energy, connecting with your intuition. And we do actually have a couple of specific sessions. One is about releasing things that don't serve so that you can create space for attracting new things. That's kind of like the idea of clearing clutter in your home. And then the other one is specifically about manifesting. So those are energy sessions with the two of us that will very much mirror the sessions we do when we work together. I mean, we can't let you have everything, right? Because we want world domination.
That's right.
But
It all starts with carrots.
it all starts with carrots. So there in the group, there's a page to connect to, and then I'll drop a link in the comments of this live stream, a link so you can go and check that out. Okay, done with the shameless plug.
Nice. I wonder if people
Yeah.
might tune in like right when we're talking about world domination every time. They're like, "Oh, I wonder what they're talking about today." And the first thing they hear is because we want world domination. It's like, "Oh, jeez."
Oh my goodness. Well, you know,
I got nothing for that.
me either.
That's funny. World domination's sweet. Anyway, what was I gonna say?
Well, I mean,
right.
if you're
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, if you really think about it, if we were to dominate the world, no, let's not even, just move on. What were you going to say?
I was gonna say, so going back to the gratitude journal, and like just kind of popped in my head, the first the first time you were going through it, those were just like things, or like they were all just really things, right? But then when it was, when you're connecting to the energy of that thing, and then it moves into being a, like a cause and effect of, oh, I have shelter, or I forget what you said, but making it a two-part cause and effect thing. See, I forgot where I was going with it. Somehow
Oh, no,
tied
right.
back into karma, somehow,
Oh,
or
sure.
our general idea of karma being a cause and effect type thing. It's gone. We'll blame that one on the headache. Curse you, headache.
Mine is actually mine actually is, clearing up a little bit. But I think I like where you're going with that, actually. Because that's it, right? It's not just an exercise. It's about connecting to the energy, and I never thought of it, but that may be, you might have just hit on a new way to help people connect to the idea of a gratitude journal. Is find, and it doesn't have to be 3 things, find something every day that you are grateful for, where you can identify the cause and effect. Cause and effect, cause and effect, cause and effect. And at some point, I think that in a journal of that nature, you would start to notice some kind of a pattern. And really what I think would be that the cause and effect would be, and this is probably how you could tie it back to karma even, is the cause of it, right, of whatever it is that you're grateful for, is that you took a positive action. I'm grateful that I feel well. Well, oh yeah, because you've been out walking 2 miles a day, or you know what I mean? Like, I think you're onto something there. Like, I don't think we've got it all sussed out yet, but
Yep.
I think you've really you got to something there. Look at how slick I am. I got that comment in there with the link already.
Hey, look at that. Boom, there's the link right there.
So, oh, and there's me with Radley Valentine.
No big deal. No big deal.
Yeah, wow. I mean, really, when you think about it, that's It's really, I mean, we've known all the way from the beginning that this is where the magic is in this sort of collaboration. Because you've
Mm-hmm.
got your ideas, I've got my ideas, but there's something about the way they come together
Mm-hmm.
that is magic. I mean, that's the kind of magic I've always been looking for in this kind of work is, um, you see we see each other's blind spots. We can see each other's blind spots, and I
Totally.
think that's really important for people to have. And when you're looking in the idea of law of attraction, think about, because the law of attraction, that's manifesting. That's what do you want to bring toward you? What do you want to manifest in your life? We all know about alignment and all that, but the idea that, I mean, two is more powerful than one, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if whatever it is at the end of a rope and you're trying to pull it towards you, if we're both pulling, it's going to get here faster, I think, right? So fascinating. I knew this was going to be a good topic.
It was.
So,
It is.
and then naturally, when we talk about it, because of what we promised for the theme for the month is, pulling some compassion into the situation.
Oh, I would love it. I
So,
mean, that's easy, right? I mean, that's if especially if you have that karma's out to get people mentality and like, oh, karma's going to take care of it, you're definitely not having compassion for that other person. You know, they might not have even meant to pass that ill will onto you, or it's something that they're going through. Instead of having compassion for that and taking the high road, it's like, oh, I'm just going to slight them down, or I'm not going to do it. I'm going to
that
employ karma to go do it for me.
right, that's it right there, isn't it? I mean, really, how much of it is that? Like, hey, they went out and got hit by a bus. That's got nothing to do with me. That's
Mm-hmm.
karma, right? Like that's
and
scapegoat,
and
right?
people could also use the law of attraction on that one too, like, oh, they were doing their the not not
Right,
correct, but the human scapegoat, right, for it is that, oh, they were doing negative things, or negatively aligned things, therefore they attracted a bus running them over.
right.
And I mean, so if you install compassion, slip that right in before you try to use karma and law of attraction as a scapegoat for that person, instead of taking a negative karma token in your pot, you just offered them compassion and saw compassion in the situation that, this human being is going through their own journey at their own time and at their own pace, and they maybe don't know what you know yet, and offer them compassion. Now you just got a positive karma token in your pot.
Well, and it's interesting that you said that because I've been giving this some thought, and while I know that we've made our rules not to talk about politics, and so I'm going to just very lightly brush into it. There was a time where I had to just completely hide everything off my feed. I didn't want to see any of it. I couldn't watch it. I didn't want to see it. And then there was a point where there was someone who had written a book, who told a story that allowed me to find some compassion for this particular person that I find it very difficult to deal with. And I'm not going to mention any names, but I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
you know who I'm talking about. And all of a sudden, finding that compassion, while it doesn't make me okay with the actions, it doesn't make me okay with the choices, it doesn't make me okay with any of that. It takes the charge out of those things that I see. So now I can scroll past and I'm good without getting that, like, and it was a visceral reaction, like I had to hide it because I could feel my blood starting to boil,
Mm-hmm.
when I was seeing it. And that power is gone now. And it's really interesting because I was able to find some compassion for that person. And now all of a sudden it's like, well, it is what it is, you know. I think if you can find compassion, you can get an idea of why somebody did something, and you realize it's about them, it's not about you.
Right. Right. And I mean, I think without compassion, you can't reach that second step. You
No
know,
way.
it doesn't exist. Otherwise, it's just you're gonna get what's coming to you, man.
Right.
But
And nature abhors a vacuum.
that's right. No more.
Interesting. Hi, Lena.
Yeah, hi, Lena. I was just gonna say we saw you.
Yeah, anyway, so I mean it's really, you know, I'll tell you what, because I'm watching some people struggle right now, and I'm seeing some people that I know or that I care about or whatever, and some of the things that send them into a tizzy, um, just boggle my mind a little bit. Like, you know, I mean, we heard Eddie Van Halen passed,
That's a bummer.
right? It's a big bummer, right? You know, the first
Phenomenal,
virtue,
phenomenal guiterist. Very
yes.
good.
No, you're exactly. I mean, revolutionary, right?
Mm-hmm.
Groundbreaker.
Yep.
Virtuoso, I've heard used and absolutely appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
But he was in a band that I used to listen to when I was a kid. So the idea that somebody that's never met him, that doesn't know him, that isn't related to him, that wasn't married to him, that isn't their, you know, his son or daughter, gets completely broken up and plunged into the bowels of grief over it boggles my mind a little bit. Now I get it, like, because there's so many reasons for that. One is that, you know, you take everything personally, right? It's all about you. But the other is that what I'm starting to notice, and somehow there's law of attraction and karma that plays into this, because what I'm starting to notice, you know, you probably don't because of your age, but what I'm starting to notice is I think these things are pointing out people their mortality
Mm.
and you know, how close that may be.
Mm.
When you look at Eddie, when I look at Eddie Van Halen passing, and I think, oh my God, he's only 5 years older than I am.
Right. Totally.
Right. So now, does that accelerate? If I don't understand karma and the law of attraction in my mind, does that accelerate the mission of karma? Like, oh my God, like I'm getting close to the end. I'm going to get it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, coming back as
and
something bad next time, right? Yeah, I
right.
mean
Like,
it could. It
and,
definitely could.
and I remember when, you know, I struggled a lot when I was younger. You've heard me say I raised myself basically from the time I was
Mm-hmm.
16. Not a story that we're going to revisit, but, you know, there was a lot of struggles involved in that. And I can remember things, you know, going badly or getting away from me, or, you know, even screwy things happening. Some things happened to me because I didn't understand at the time that I had some serious energy floating around me. So stuff would break or fall down, and I didn't know why. So I remember walking around going, oh my God, was I Lucretia Borgia in a past life or what? You know, so the idea of karma was also sort of like that victim thing, like it's happening to me, right? And now it's happening to me, but I've got no control over it because it was because of something that I did in a past life. What a merry-go-round it is, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
if you really think about it,
I
it's
mean,
seriously,
everything's cyclical.
yeah, yes.
Cyclical.
So,
I mean, cycles. I mean, who doesn't love circles, right? Shapes are pretty
right.
great. Geometry's awesome.
Well, and I must admit that I'm actually becoming a little bit partial to triangles lately, if
Triangles
you want to
lately, I
know the
know.
truth. Triangles are pretty, you know, amazing.
Pyramids.
Yep.
Good stuff. I mean, circles are crazy. I mean, especially if you ever want to go down the sacred geometry rabbit hole. I mean, circles are it's the start, right? and then you put a couple circles together, and that'll be something down the road. Maybe we'll talk about. We'll have to get
Oh,
some
I'd love
slides
to talk
together for
about
that.
sacred geometry and the perception of that and sort of where, I mean, if you really think about it, you know, as far as solids go, sacred geometry is where it's at. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway,
Yeah, right.
um,
Back to
but back to, yeah. Well, I mean, really, it is a circle, isn't it? Because I remember, like, if you struggle when you're doing shadow work, you have an idea of, sort of what that was like, what that looked like for me in a particular situation.
mm-hmm.
And it wasn't really, and it's interesting that you bring up circle. So the whole thing had to do with law of attraction, karma. I really believe that it was, you know, but I had to circle around to number one, and it seemed like there were points on that circle. So I had to get to a place where I understood my part in the whole thing, right? But then I also had to circle around to compassion for the other participants in the situation,
Right.
you know, because without that compassion, that situation doesn't clear. To
Right.
me,
There's no step two. Right. Just like we were talking about with whatever it is that we were talking about.
right, exactly. No step two. And it's so it's like compassion is that final the final cut, right? Or the final slice of the sword, or the final
Right. To make
whatever
that
you want to call it.
transition into creating good karma for yourself.
Right,
Because
right,
otherwise,
right,
that
exactly.
particular situation could have spun vastly in the other direction.
Vastly
I mean,
in the other direction. Vastly in the other direction. And I would have bought myself probably at least 3/4 of a bucket of karma for that one if it would have
negative karma.
gone. Yes, if it would have gone in the other direction, because that could have.
or,
You are absolutely right. It could have absolutely done that. So
there could have been some people on fire or something.
something. I mean, for real, right? So, and that's a thing I recognize, right? Through the course of my life. So another thing I'm grateful for when I sit and think about things I'm grateful for is this work, is the balance that I've achieved through this work, because it's all about reactions, right? I mean, karma, law of
Mm-hmm.
attraction, it's reactions. How do you react to any given situation? So the idea that um, well, you just watch because you're going to get it, that's a reaction. And that's a
Mm-hmm.
negative reaction, no matter what. That's a negative reaction, I mean, is there something attached in the concept of forgiveness that you find in many religions? I think so.
I would think so.
I th- I think it's, I mean, really, there's nothing new under the sun, right? When we
Right.
talk about these things, we talk about karma, energy, law of attraction, all of it. There's nothing new. It's just about perception and how you look at it. And
Mm-hmm.
um, that's one of the things that really, in the conversations that we have, that's one of the things that really stokes it for me, is that we bring it to a place where I feel like a lot of people could go, oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's all it is. Like, well, that's
Right.
not so scary, or that's not
Right.
so.
Well, actually, I think so. I think we were lying, but we were getting ahead of ourselves before when we said that compassion was the first step. Really, the first step's awareness, and I think we help spread a lot of awareness into maybe changing people's perceptions about how they think or why they think the way they do. And one of these days, we'll really make like a 2 day special or something, get into limiting beliefs, because I know we could talk about that for hours.
Oh,
Uh,
we could, but what I feel like is sort of what I honestly feel like is happening here, and it's no room yet for a shameless plug. But the pattern that I'm seeing happen here as we have these conversations is that we're identifying these steps that are a little bit different than the steps that are already out there that are being used, which are amazing. All that work is amazing. I never want to say that what we do is better. It's different. And it's a different take. But I feel like what you're starting to do with what you're going there is like taking those situations and the idea of karma, and now because of where we can go energetically, you and I in session work and in, working with people, that's a piece that doesn't exist in a self-help book.
Sure.
Right? So there's something happening there. That's like retreat material or some kind of some kind of something like that. Find those things, find those little bits and pieces of karma that are holding you back from where you're trying to get to, from where you're trying to go, and take these particular steps in this 2 or 3 days that we're going to spend together and find transformation from beginning to end, and things that you can carry with you and continue to work on. Something of that. Wow, I don't know where that all came from just now, but there you go. I see you're writing. I hope that's what you're writing down. There's a program in that. There's a, like a retreat or something of that nature.
It's going to be a 12-step program.
Well, oh no. Oh man,
them too long.
Yeah. And those 12 steppers are, man, they're tough nuts to crack. That's a very regimented program that is very successful and it very works, but it's way too feng shui for us.
Yeah, it is. Well, I mean,
it's a valuable program that does a lot of good for a lot of people, but
it is, and it isn't.
Right.
But I'm not going to get into that with I don't enjoy it. I mean,
no, I know where you're going. I get it. Right. I completely understand. So,
it's pretty much step number 1, but that's okay. Anywho.
So, yeah, wow. Holy cow, the hour's like gone already.
I know.
Oh, well, not really, because we got on a little late. We still have 13 minutes.
That's right. We do.
If we go for the regular hour.
The 1 hour. But we do need to what else we got? Oh, missed opportunity with for a shameless plug earlier when you were talking about playfulness. I should have just snuck right in and been like, speaking of playfulness, who likes
just do it now?
Children. That's right. Next week we'll be talking about inner child work. Oh, it is next week. Nice.
Yeah,
right.
Next
week. I still got my dates. There it is. Next week, inner child work. Good stuff. Playfulness.
Yeah, that's kind of all the rage right now, right? Like that's the I don't know what you call it. People are talking all the time about inner child and how to nurture your inner child, and I think that'll make for an interesting conversation because of especially now the awareness that has been brought to my attention through this energy work of just how powerful those things can be and what a hold they can have. Interesting concepts. I've got some things at the top of my head, but hopefully they'll still be there next week, right? Anyway, so I don't know. I was speaking of law of attraction, and I was thinking, there's a lot out there about the law of attraction. You see a lot of people, law of attraction this, law of attraction that, and one of the ones is what is it? Abraham Hicks. Have you ever heard of Abraham Hicks?
That name does ring a bell. Let me refresh my visual memory here.
So Abraham Hicks. This is an interesting kind of phenomenon. Abraham Hicks. So Esther Hicks is the woman that channels Abraham Hicks that tells all these stories about the law of attraction and how the world works. Now,
Mm-hmm.
what I find really fascinating, and the only reason I'm bringing it up is because for a while, for quite a while, I saw every time you turned around, there was somebody was, created a meme with a quote from Abraham Hicks. And I would read these quotes and I'd be like, wow, that's like some fear conscious BS right there.
Sure.
I really would. I would look at it and I would go, man, like, and I can't remember anything in particular, and it's not Abraham Hicks bashing anyway. But it was everything I saw led me to believe that this was all about some fear consciousness BS. And then somebody, my friend, sent me a link to a YouTube link to listen. And I was like, oh my God, it's completely different. Sounds exactly like One Eye Channel.
Mm-hmm.
It was all positive. It was all good. And it was like, and I even remember hearing her say, ooh, and this is a good one. And I'm like, oh my God, how many times have I said that? Right. So what's interesting to me is the people out there that found the things to pick out of, what was said or what they heard, found so much of the fear conscious, taken out of context, that it led me to believe that it wasn't something that I wanted to listen to. That's kind of, I don't know exactly what it tells me, but it tells me something, right?
That's the internet.
Well, I guess that is true. Yeah, that's that whole that is, right? The social dilemma, I think it was called. Um but it was just kind of fascinating because as you watch people focus, I don't know, it's kind of like the ones where you see um people's spirit guides are all upset with them. They don't get upset with you. Not their job, right?
Right.
They
They're
get a
busy.
little
They got other
persistent.
stuff. Persistent, yes.
Yeah, they get a little persistent. I mean, when you start asking for signs, right, to attract, I guess that's law of attraction if you really think about it. When you start moving into alignment with who you are at soul level, and endeavoring to do this work in whatever way works for you, that's what brings them to you in a way that makes them seem persistent or overzealous or what have you. The truth is, they got to go if you tell them to go, right? You're 100% in control. So is that a true statement then about karma as well, right? Because I think a lot of people out there think, oh, I don't have to worry about it because karma will just take care of it. Not really, right? You're only in control of your
Right.
actions, and the reactions that your actions elicit. So wishing karma on someone else, well, we already went through this,
Right. I mean, you already
gives you
took an
nothing,
action. Yeah.
right?
Well, it does. It gives you one negative karmic
Yeah,
token.
right. Oh yeah, karma tokens.
I'm
How
gonna
many
start
karma
passing out.
tokens?
How many
When
karma tokens does it take to get a new car? I don't know.
I was gonna say exactly that. It's funny because I remember like working in restaurants that had sort of concepts like that. It was the other way. When they caught you doing something good, they would give you a karma token that you could fill up in your good karma bucket, and then you put them in a bucket at the end of the week, and they would draw, and you'd get a free margarita or something. So,
There you go.
interesting. I mean, it's really kind of fascinating if you think about it. And it's so misunderstood, right?
It is. I mean, well, a lot of not misinformation out there, but maybe a lot of incomplete information, or people just hear it word of mouth. I mean, look how what your perception of law of attraction was.
Good point.
It
Good
wasn't until you
point.
actually went to the source and discovered it for yourself that you were like, oh, this is actually pretty awesome. Or,
Yeah, kind of fun to watch or whatever. I mean,
yeah,
you know, I mean, you and I are, I don't know where we fit in all of it because we pretty much decide for ourselves what we think and what we believe. Um, I don't know. Maybe some talk show is about reading a book or checking something out and discussing it at some point. But that's the whole thing, you know. I mean, honestly, whatever looks like light is where we should be right now, right? We should be walking in the light because there's too much dark. We need to flip the switches. We need to light up the world. We need to be walking in the light,
I mean,
whatever that looks like.
I'm all for saving the planet and reducing electricity, but everyone's got to turn on their lights. I agree.
There you go, right? I
That's
mean,
right.
because that isn't, and I don't know where it came from, but I was just thinking of it's a I don't know, a phrase, I guess. You know, like somebody's throwing shade at you, throwing shade. No, let's
Mm-hmm.
throw some light. Let's throw some light. Let's light up that shade. No more shade.
I agree. I agree. I got a little deep into Esther Hicks.
Uh,
I started clicking around on our
yeah,
website.
I
I
mean,
got a lot
it's
of
fun. It's
ideas.
right,
Got some
right. I mean,
ideas
that,
from there.
yeah. So that's
Oh, this is a good. Do law of attraction really works? I love it.
oh my. Well, I see we're still on MPowered Serenity Live at 27 subscribers. So we need 73 more subscribers on the YouTube channel to
Get my custom URL,
that's it.
which I have to have it. It's actually a moral imperative. What is that
You know
for?
that when you click on a YouTube channel, the first thing starts up and blasts you in the ear. I'm just putting that out there. Holy cow. See, this is what we need for world domination, Michael. 563,000 subscribers.
I don't think we should sell ourselves short. We need more like 7 billion.
Well, that is a good point.
Then we'll be
But
world domination.
it would too, right? Anyway, okay.
750 billion.
Before coming to Earth, you said, wow, there's a lot here to talk. Maybe we should do a little of this, listen and talk about it. Oh, we're still on
Yeah,
the air.
we're
Sorry.
still entertaining people
Oops.
here. Hold on.
No, forget it. We're not going to be watching Abraham Hicks and stealing topics.
Uh, whoops. Don't worry,
Just
we'll edit
kidding.
that out. It's fine.
Right.
But it's
There you go.
live. Oh, you know,
Oh,
we
yeah.
need one of those Men in Black memory eraser. It's actually
no.
standard issue neuralizer.
There you go.
Now I gotta go watch Men in Black. Not a bad night.
Wow.
All right. Well,
Anyway.
yeah, we're getting there, and I'm I'm all about reading what I was just reading over here, so I need to stop that. And since we already kind of started,
We
well,
did.
let's see. Let's pause that. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
Don't use law of attraction and karma as scapegoats.
Good one.
Insert compassion before you do so. Not before you do
Wow.
so. Well, yeah, I guess before you do so, because once you insert compassion, then you won't do it anymore.
Then you
So,
won't do it,
yeah,
right?
there you go.
Yeah. There you go. Wow, you took the really the best one off the top, right? Don't use karma as a scapegoat. But it takes some time to connect to the energy of what it is that you're going to put out there. So, you know, if you're going to wish something on someone, think about the energy or what that would feel like, and find some compassion. I guess that's really that's a similar statement, isn't it? So just what he said, that's fine. My final thought. Just listen to Michael. It's all good.
Although I am sitting here thinking about what it would be like to get hit by a bus, and it wasn't that pleasant. So that works too.
No. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's not that pleasant. So, um,
A small bus.
you know what? Here's the thing. Actually, here's a final thought. Figure out how to get your own energy under control. Get your own energy in a state of balance. Get yourself in a state of grounded, centered, and connected to divine source or to your higher self or to God or whatever, whatever you want to call that, to spirit, whatever. Grounded, centered, connected, anchored, balanced. Because if you do that, you're going to have balanced reactions to situations. And the truth is, once you have balanced energy and balanced reactions, a lot of those situations don't happen in the first place. Love it.
There
A
we
lot of
go.
those situations don't happen in the first place. And wouldn't it be better just to avoid them altogether?
Winner. Hold on, we gotta jot something down real quick. Then we'll do a change up to. I
Time
forgot I
for
was
the
gonna write down.
shameless
Wasn't
plug.
fast enough. Alrighty. Let's see, Angie. You already mentioned we need 73 more subscribers on the YouTube channel.
Yep.
If we had those 73 subscribers, I could just say it's at youtube.com/Empowered Serenity Live, but we can have a custom URL because we don't have the 73 subscribers. So it's at %T3RZ something.
Actually, if we need 100 and we're 27, then we need 73 more percent. Or we have 27% of what we need. So technically, we need about a 300% increase from where we are at this moment.
Easy. We've been working with 300% increases on the channel since we started, so
there you go.
Not a big deal,
right? Not a big deal at all.
And
So yes, there's that.
There's that YouTube. Just type in Empowered Serenity Live. MPowered, not EM-powered. That's not fun.
No.
I don't even know if that's a real channel, but I'm sure it's great. I'm sure it's quality content. Not as good as ours.
Of course not.
Obviously. And let's see, tomorrow, 7 p.m., we have our midweek energy exploration extravaganza deluxe. I still haven't thought of another good E word for it. D's close, but the alphabet says no. And yeah, so that one's. I think we forgot to work compassion into the last one. We'll see if we can do that since that's kind of our theme for the month.
Yeah, I think we came up with the compassion theme after the last one.
That's
so
right.
we're in good
big
shape.
Break from Sunday. We're on top of it. Of course,
yep.
Obviously.
It's all good.
Away. And then Friday.
Yeah, I'm telling you guys, this is going to be so good. We did a couple of free previews, and the energy in the room for those two were amazing. So just imagine coming to the 6 weeks where we are actually, have it written and scheduled, and we are awesome when we wing it, but when we have our stuff together, it's even, or when we have it written out, I guess. Not really. We've always got our stuff together, but I am excited. This is really going to be a good thing. So the link is in the comments here. Please feel free to take a peek. That will take you to a landing page that'll tell you more about it. So there you go.
There's my paint. I got it in there. Those aren't wounds. That's paint. It's oil based. It's good stuff. Anyway.
And then we've got Sunday at 10 a.m.
Sunday.
Sunday at 10 a.m.
Or start your week off on the right foot. I prefer the left foot as I'm sure you do too, for obvious reasons.
For
So
obvious reasons.
on the start your week off on the left foot, which is the right foot.
Exactly. I am with you
uh,
there.
10%ers. Yeah, and hopefully that's carries you over until the talk show, which is on Wednesdays, which is today.
That's right. All right.
Excellent. So until tomorrow.
Until tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow.
We will see you tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Have a good evening.
Have a good evening. Thank you.